Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, the Honorable Chief of Staff, senior officials of the Presidency, newly sworn-in Ministers of State, distinguished invited guests, families and friends, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the media. Exactly a month today, I took the oath to become the 6th President under the 4th Republic and the 12th head of state since independence. I did so with the hopes and aspirations of millions of my fellow citizens weighing heavily on my shoulders. The Ghanaian people, in a resounding electoral mandate, have returned me to the high office of President with one charge, and that is to reset our dear nation while offering honest governance that yields tangible benefits for them. The urgency to reset our dear country is the reason why we have worked round the clock to constitute our government in record time so we can get things done quickly and efficiently. In this period, since I was sworn in, we've constituted a working presidential staff for both the Office of the President and the Office of the Vice President. We've set in motion the processes for constitutional review by establishing a Constitution Review Committee. We've initiated work on the National Economic Dialogue with a planning committee already hard at work. We've announced the promised National Education Review Dialogue Committee. We began the National Tripartite Committee negotiations with a view to setting the base pay and minimum wage. We've announced the 2025 Hajj fare, which is 13,000 Ghana cedis cheaper than what it was in the last year, among others. We've gathered here again today to witness the induction into office of 17 ministers who have gone through vetting and have been approved by Parliament. They represent the final installment of substantive ministers and brings to 42 the total number of substantive ministers who have been sworn in. Earlier this week, I nominated in consultation with the relevant sector ministers 13 deputy ministers pending parliamentary approval. It is my expectation that Parliament will expedite vetting of the deputy ministerial nominees to complete the process and enable them to take office in support of their ministers. In the coming days, I'll be nominating the last remaining 4 deputy ministers to bring the total number of ministers to 60, as I promised the people of Ghana. Indeed, we have proven that it is possible to have a lean and efficient government, but that is the easiest part of the job. An efficient government will not make itself. It requires strategy, creativity, innovation, intentionality, and hard work. And I therefore expect nothing but the very best output from all of you. To the 8 of you who will be serving as regional ministers, remember that the people in your regions look up to you to deliver on the promises made during the last campaign, in which you played active roles. How you conduct yourselves will either reflect positively or negatively on this government, and I expect that you will dig deep into your reserves to meet the expectations of our people. In addition, I've just sworn in 9 sector ministers whose performance will be key to the success of this government and the rapid development of our country. The Honorable Kwabena Minta Akando goes to the Ministry of Health. It will be your duty to supervise a health sector that is plagued by numerous complex challenges with regards to personnel and health facilities, but also in dealing with any possible pandemics like COVID-19, which can disrupt our very existence if they break out again. You therefore have the task of proofing all Ghanaians against effects of such disease and ensuring that our health system is robust and resilient to withstand such crisis. As Foreign Minister, Honorable Okuchetu Ablakwa You will have to bring the same dynamism and commendable work ethic for which you are known to navigating the complex maze of international diplomacy in a fast-shifting geopolitical environment. I have every intention of taking you up on your word regarding economic diplomacy, which will be crucial to repairing our reputation as a nation following the disastrous economic crisis that led to a loss of confidence in our economy by the international investment community. With climate change becoming an ever-pressing issue, I look forward that you, Honorable Alhaji Baba Isifu Seydou, will bring your wealth of experience and exposure to bear on our efforts as a country to contribute to the global efforts to combat it. I've made drastic changes to government information dissemination machinery, and I've picked you, Honorable Felix Kwakye Ofosu, to lead the effort as Minister of State for Government Communications to modernize and sharpen how this government interacts and interfaces with the Ghanaian people. Honorable Rashid Hassan Pelpo, you come into office at a time when we have inherited the worst unemployment situation in our country's history, with millions of Ghanaian youth despairing over the frustration of not being able to find a job. It will be your mandate to work with stakeholders to turn this situation around and also foster a harmonious labor-government relationship. To Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed as Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, you will have the unenviable task of safeguarding Ghana's environment, which has been in great peril from the activities of Galamsey and other environmental terrorism. You also have the responsibility of promoting Ghanaian technology and making it competitive. Ghana's communication sector has seen incremental growth over the last few decades, and you, Honorable Samuel Nate Jata George, the Honorable Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, you'll be expected not only to continue this growth trajectory, but to create policies that expand the frontiers of the sector and place Ghana at the forefront of the global telecommunications space. The Honorable Kofi Idi Adams, Minister for Sports and Recreation, I don't envy your job. You have the monumental task of restoring Ghana to its pride of place in African and world sports. The shambles that is Ghana sports today is completely unacceptable for a country with our pedigree, and I expect that you inject transparency, professionalism, and modernity into the management of the sector. I expect that you will concentrate on building up all the sports disciplines, and I know the Ghana Football Association would be a good place to start, to work to make sure that we return Black Stars to its glory days. And finally, with Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikpe, Minister for Transport, you are charged with the task of building on past progress in the transport sector to guarantee swift movement of people and goods through a modernized rail, aviation, and marine transport. I have no doubt that all of you are poised to work tirelessly to improve the lot of Ghanaians in your respective sector based on your experience and your competence. I must, however, remind you of the same caution I sounded to your colleagues who have already taken office, that the hallmark of this government will be modesty and respect for the Ghanaian people. There will be no room for arrogance and pomposity in this government. The resources that you'll be working with belong to the Ghanaian people who put us in office. Those resources are not to be wasted on opulence and extravagance. I've asked the Chief of Staff to write to all government appointees that I've imposed a ban on non-essential travel forthwith to cut down expenditure. Any travel that is deemed essential and necessary must be cleared first with the Office of the Chief of Staff, and such travels will have to be undertaken in modesty, no first class. Also, all traces of affluence and lavish lifestyle are to be avoided. The people of Ghana are enduring difficult times occasioned by hardships resulting from the economic mismanagement of the last 8 years. And ours is to work to lift them out of this hole, not to compound it further. On Monday, I'll be receiving the report of the committee I set up to prepare the way for the implementation of Operation Recover All the Loot, oral. Upon receipt of this report, appropriate action will be taken against those who are deemed to have acted against the economic and financial interests of this country through corruption and related acts. While it is all well and good to hold past office holders accountable for their actions, it is even better to prevent the incidence of corruption in the first place. And as I've already indicated many times, I'll be holding all my appointees in this government to the strictest standards of accountability to ensure that the mandate and resources entrusted to us by the people of Ghana go only into working for them and improving their standards of living. Let me take this opportunity to remind you all that in the coming days, as promised in our 120-day plan, I'll be outdooring a code of conduct and standards for all government officials to guide the conduct of all our appointees. This will leave you in no doubt about what you can do and what you cannot do while serving in public office. You must make this code of conduct your guide and keep it like a Bible by your bedside before you take any action. I made a solemn pledge in our Resetting Ghana manifesto to lead by example and to serve with dedication, selflessness, and deep love for country. I intend to fully keep that pledge to the people of Ghana. And my biblical instruction. Therefore, as ye go forth into your new roles, remember once again that our ministry as a government is not to dispossess the people we govern of their dignity, their livelihoods and opportunities. Ours is rather a duty to reset our country and ensure the equitable distribution of the gains of progress and prosperity to all. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you.